I did it in 6 months, and you can too if you put in the right effort.
I have not seen anybody clearing exam in 6 months, starting from complete as a zero with no French background.
It was very intense for me. Like I used to put in work every single day.
I am unable to sometimes help them that I don't have more resources.
Although it was also intense, I think the support from LFWA was a game changer for me.
I want to understand, when you started your journey, did you have a timeline in your head or brain? I will clear in 6 months no matter what world is saying. There was some sort of an attitude like that.
I had stressful times. I really had stressful times when I transitioned to TCF. My writing was not good. I used to make so many errors.
You've had to fly from Vancouver to Toronto
Yes,
to
correct.
take the test.
There were no dates available in Vancouver. There was nothing available in Edmonton, Calgary. And I also had a talk with you, and we knew that there's no dates available for until April or May.
Why do you think people fail? Why do you think that you could achieve it in 6 months while others are not able to do it? Ravleen, grand congratulations for this super success. I'll be super honest with you. Up until your success story, if somebody would have booked my consultation or would have asked me a simple piece of timeline that, ma'am, how many days, how many months it takes to clear the TEF exam or TCF exam with CLB7, I would have said definitely not in 6 months, because that is something I have seen so far. But you changed my whole perspective, and I am so excited to have you today in my studio. And I really want to know, how do you feel? Like it is like a game changer, record breaking history. I have not seen anybody clearing exam in 6 months, starting from complete as a zero with no French background and learning through and throughout only for CLB7 with one attempt. How do you feel?
Thank you so much, ma'am. Honestly, I still can't believe it. Every day I'm like, oh, did I really do it? It's done. I don't have to study now. But yeah, I am on top of the world. I'm really happy that it's done, and that too in 6 months. And yeah.
Oh my God. Even I can't believe, even now. So I really I saw your result thrice. In fact, after you cleared it, everything, I even asked all your trainers to send me the recordings because I really wanted to know, what did you do? Because it was so magical that you cleared everything and like with trust, with faith, and just in one go. Tell me one very simple thing. In the whole 6 months journey, what was the point that you felt that you were ready and you will get CLB7 in one go?
I think at the start, I really felt that I wasn't understanding listening. I wasn't able to speak. I felt that I was translating English to French. But there came a point when I was able to speak mock. I was able to speak like fluently. If not fluently, I was able to, build up my ideas. And also for listening, I was able to understand what they were saying. It was the liaison was starting to, break for me in my mind. So at that point, I felt like, no, I am ready now. It's, I'm able to understand it. I'm able to speak well. So let's go for it.
Amazing. Now, let's just rewind your journey, because this podcast is being watched today by many, many learners. I want to understand, when you started your journey, did you have a timeline in your head or brain? I will clear in 6 months no matter what world is saying. There was some sort of an attitude like that?
At one point, when I realized that, I'm giving it in 6 months, I felt like, no, it's okay. I can do it. But before then, when I started, I had no idea that I'll give it in March. I was like, let's start with A1. Let's move on and let's see how I progress. But eventually I was able to progress fast because I was putting in so much effort that in January, I thought that, okay, let's give in 2 months. Let's give TCF now. Let's prepare for that. And at one point when I was preparing TCF, I was like, is 6 months real? But then I felt, no, I can do it. I feel like I'm prepared. I can do it. So let's go for it.
Amazing. Now, what I want to really connect the dots here, when you said you were thinking about taking exam in March when you joined us as a complete beginner, I remember you signed up for the flagship program. And according to that flagship program, I think the month we gave you, was it June?
June.
that by June you would clear your TCF exam and with
Yeah.
CLB7. Now, obviously, you must have thought that, okay, I have a time till until June. I would prepare accordingly. Was it something like that? Or you were like, okay, just kick off. I don't want to do.
I didn't want to, stretch it anymore. I was like, if I'm able to, if I'm getting in my head, I'm able to understand, I'm able to speak. I just don't want to stretch it. Like, I don't want to take it till 9 months, because the effort that I was putting in, I knew that it's the double the effort I'm putting in. So, I just went with the flow, to be honest, that when I was talking to you and I felt that, no, I am ready. Maybe I can prepare for 2 months and I can give it. So at that point, I felt like, let's go for March. But initially, honestly, I never thought I'll give it in March.
Right. I definitely remember that. And Ravleen, so let's take a case, a very simple case today. Whoever would be watching this podcast, now they are watching it as a complete beginner and they want to start their journey today. So today, many people are definitely trying to achieve this score within 6 months. And I get a lot of consultation calls wherein people have already taken multiple attempts, have spent 12 months, maybe more than that. Why do you think people fail? Why do you think that you could achieve it in 6 months? Why others are not able to do it?
So honestly, ma'am, what I think is, firstly, people try to go on and find so many resources, guidance from everywhere, resources, as much as resources they could get. They just try to, get resources and never organize it, never, go on with it in a structured way. And secondly, it's always, finding the gem, finding the diamond, a trainer or any institute that could get them CLB7. For me, honestly, I was very lucky. I found LFWA at the right time. And honestly, for me, I just focused on the resources that you guys gave me, my trainers gave me, and the classes that we used to have. So I always went on with the resources I had, rather than going on YouTube and looking at other video, or going on Instagram and seeing what others are doing. I always focused on what I was doing with LFWA and what was given to me through LFWA. So that really helped me to, structure and organize my resources very nicely and very structurally.
Right. And of course, when we say organization of your resources are very important. So when you said that you were very organized, so how was your daily routine like, Ravleen? Because you were working professional, and it's so difficult for a working professional to find that those many hours to focus and study. So what was your routine like?
So I never had a strict routine, but I always had in my mind that if I'm focusing for 3 hours, I'll just focus for 3 hours. I won't use my phone. I won't go on Instagram, not watching any YouTube video, or, just looking for better resource that where I could understand this grammar topic the better way. I never did that. If I had in my mind that, okay, I have this to-do list, I need to do listening today, I need to, practice my grammar, this topic that I had done in my class with my trainer. I used to do that in those 3 hours, and I just used to focus on that. So, and consistency. I used to put in hours every single day. Even if I'm studying for 1 hour, that 1 hour used to be with full focus. And I used to always, focus. If I have 1 hour, I'll divide it into 20 minutes of listening, 20 minutes of writing, and revising my grammar topic. That's how I used to divide it. My goal was always, focusing on what I was doing at that time, rather than looking for other resources.
That's where I think you have actually optimized your time, because I do get a lot of messages and calls from other respective students too. And because they're stressed and I am unable to sometimes help them, that I don't have more resources and there is no end to it. We have to find somewhere consensus. Okay, this is what I've got and I have to just deal with it. So I think that's something you really understood very well, which I can see now. And Ravleen, talking about your beginner journey, when you were complete beginner, so did you have your real in the beginning challenges? Because I also get a lot of such questions from the beginner that, ma'am, French we can't learn like we read alphabet and then it is CAT cat, BAT bat, DOG dog. French is not taught like that, is not learned like that. So did you also have those sort of like nervousness in the beginning? Oh my God, this is very different way. I have to first learn como sava, but I don't know what is como, what is could be comment. So did you have those things and how did you navigate those feelings then?
So for me, the first thing that I had to understand is every language is different. Every language has its own rules and how we need to, learn it. So I never treated French like English, although some words in French are similar to English, so that helped me a lot. But I always treated French as a different language, and I tried to learn. If I knew that the last three words would be silent, I used to try to learn it that way. And our resources were so great that I was able to learn every, alphabet and how it needs to be pronounced very easily. So even if I used to have any problems with my pronunciation, I always used to ask my trainer rather than, trying to understand, okay, is it comment? Is it como? How do I pronounce it? And whatever they used to tell me that, okay, these three words need to be silent, I used to always, put that into my mind that, okay, if my trainer is telling me that, that's how it needs to be. And that's how I need to go with it. Rather than, trying to challenge it that, okay, English needs to be like that. It needs to also be like that. So it's very important to understand that every language has its own rules and it needs to be targeted that way.
That is a real thing that you're talking about, because many people are missing out on this thing. That they start comparing it with English, that I learn alphabets and then one fine day I'll do CAT cat, BAT bat, and then I'll start making sentences. But with French, it doesn't work like that. Coming to your A2 journey, when the tenses and all starts, and when you start writing, and when you also start speaking a bit, how was your journey with A2? Because you did A1, A2, B1, and like a very rocket speed. Like, I think in about 3 months, I would say, not even full 3 months.
I guess so, yeah.
Not
I have
even
not
full
counted,
3
but
months.
3 months, I think. Yeah.
No, we counted everything because we were so surprised the day when you cleared. And my first call to my team was, I want Ravleen's all data. I want her class details. I want her recordings. I want her everything to analyze by what is it that she has done. So because you challenged me, like 6 months somebody cleared. So my ego was challenged in a very happy and exciting way.
Yes.
So now tell me, when you did this, like, such a less time with Saroj ma'am, and she was there and you were like learning intensively, did you feel the pace was fast or intensive? Didn't you feel overwhelmed? Oh my God, I have so much to learn and I have not done this.
Honestly, I think from other people's perspective, it would seem that it's very fast. But personally, it was very intense for me. Like I used to put in work every single day. But what helped me the most was I used to revise whatever my trainer used to teach me the same day. I never used to, just keep it and think, okay, I'll do it next day. It's okay. But whenever I was done with my class, I used to, even if I have to give it 20 minutes, I used to revise it. So my grammar topics, that way I was able to, do my grammar topics really well. Because when the classes are also structured, you revise structurally, it kind of simplifies things very easily. And with the revision every single day, I was able to also kind of revise it and also ask questions to my trainer in the next class. So that helped me a lot to understand the concepts and go with it structurally. And that's really important for me because if I'm not organized, I feel lost. And I think that's probably with all of the students right now because organization helps a lot. So for me, I used to organize my studies according to what my trainer used to teach me, and that helped me a lot. But although it was also intense, I think the support from LFWA was a game changer for me because I felt that I wasn't alone. It was a whole community, and it was so many trainers trusting me and putting in work for me. So although it was intense, it was doable.
Right. And for the audience, guys, Ravleen was not taught by just single trainer. She had like 4 or 5 multiple trainers, and the reasons were very different. Sometimes the trainer wasn't available, and sometimes she needed an intensive training in writing. Sometimes it was about speaking only. So they were in grammar training and then basic training. So everything was done like organized in a very structured way. So I think maybe everything like really fell in place at the right time. So, Ravleen, now, because you did your B1 like at a very swift speed and you were moved to the TCF training with Muskan ma'am. And then when you started this transition, usually I've noticed that people, when they move from B1 to TCF, they get a reality check. That, oh my God, I can't speak, I can't write, because up until now, they feel it's all grammar and it's a honeymoon period. But now the real marriage starts. So how was your marriage time with TCF?
For me, I also faced the same issues, honestly, when I transitioned from B1 to TCF. At that time, I always felt that I was translating from English to French. I wasn't sounding French, or not even sounding. I wasn't able to, speak continuously or fluently. I always used to break. And when I used to break, I used to feel like I don't have any more ideas. I can't speak. I used to just
Yeah.
stop and I used to blank out. So at
Yeah.
that time, what I started to do was I organized my, for example, monologues.
Mm,
I printed the monologue sheet, which is on Graphy, all of the
mm,
questions, which are
mm,
already divided into themes. That was really
mm.
helpful. So I printed that. And when I printed that, I started theme wise. Like if I'm doing education, I will start with that. I will write down
Mm.
my ideas. I would write down how I am starting, how I will speak and everything. And then I used to speak it out. If once
Wow.
it didn't, sit well, I'll do it twice. If that twice it didn't sit well, I'll do it thrice. So it was always, repeat and repeat with the monologues. And at one point, I didn't even need the necessity to write it, because at one point I was so good with my templates, or I was so good with my ideas. I had all of my ideas in my brain about education, about technology. So I was able to speak very fluently after one point. And another thing, I always organized my monologue topics very structurally. If there's education, so I used to organize those, sub themes very,
Ideas. Yeah.
yes, very, in small blocks. And that is what my trainer also suggested. Like at the very start, she did suggest me that, Ravleen, have your ideas ready, because when you'll revise before your exam, you need to have your ideas for revision, because there are so many
Mm.
topics. Try to, pick out small, like if there's first paragraph, if that's your one idea, just write it down. It will help you during your exam. So that helped me a lot.
A
And
lot.
another thing, yes, another thing, if I used to feel stressed, I used to discuss it with my trainer, and they were always there to support me. So that also was very helpful for me, because I had stressful times. I really had stressful times when I transitioned to TCF. My writing was not good. I used to make so many errors.
And I want to talk about that because I remember I was watching your recording with Dilhara ma'am, and you
Yes.
both were discussing about it. So, how was your writing transition so well?
So first thing, templates. I think I had a call with you as well once, and I was so stressed. I was like, I'm not able to do it. My writing is not going well. I don't know what to do. And then you told me that, Ravleen, have your writing divided. Like divide your adverbs in first paragraph, then divide it and structure it. So although I was structuring other things, I thought that writing is easy. I'll do it. But
Easy.
no, you need to
Mm.
structure that as well. It's very important. So I started structuring it, and it really helped me with different topics of writing also. And that is what was game changer for me. At first, I thought that I don't need any template for writing, but it helps a lot. It really helped me a lot, because I had all of those
It gives a
important
head
subjunctive.
start.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So it
Mm.
gave me a head start, and I knew what important tenses to use, what important adverbs to use. So that was also kind of brownie points for me.
Amazing. Next point was transition from Dilhara ma'am to Hamza sir, who was apparently your last trainer. Did he grill you? Did he was like, say this, speak this and all that?
So Hamza sir was very helpful. Honestly, he really helped me through transition period also, because going from one trainer to another, sometimes it's idea clashes, and sometimes it's you have to learn again that how other trainer approaches things, because everyone has different approach, but
Yes.
every approach is correct, because
Mm.
all of them are trainers, and all of them are best at what they do. So I trusted with what he suggested me, and he used to suggest me templates. He used to suggest me, he used to give me very detailed feedback on my speaking also. So if I used to make a lot of grammar mistake, and if I'm making it again and again and again, he used to point that out, and then he used to explain me that no, it does not need to be like that. It's this grammar rule, and according to this grammar rule, do it that way. So that really helped me near my exam. And also confidence. He helped me gain confidence a lot, and he used to pressurize me that, Ravleen, do recent topics, do this, do that. So that was
Amazing.
also a very good push for me before my exam.
100%. Ravleen, that sounds super exciting that your journey was broken down into many such, milestones that you've covered. Now, when we say that we claim today that you have done it 6 months, does that mean that everybody and anyone in this journey can clear this exam in 6 months, provided they are working professional and also they start as a complete beginner? So what will be your take on this today?
So first of all, I would highlight that nobody is in race. There's no race going on. We know that French draws are priority right now, but there's no race between people. I was very lucky that I had a workplace which was also supportive, and also I was working from home, so it kind of helped me save time for all of that transport and commuting. But it's not the same case with different people. Like people have, very different hours to work. Some people work overnight, some people work very early in the morning, or there are working professionals who are also mothers, right? And
Yeah.
fathers. So everybody has different situations and different circumstances. And I think that it's not a race that you have to give it in 6 months. Do it according to how you feel like and with what you're comfortable with. And that is what matters at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, it matters that you clear it. The timeline doesn't matter. If you're doing it in 8 months, eventually you're clearing it. So you're
Yeah.
still a star. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. That is still a success story.
Yes.
That is amazing. Now, Ravleen, let's say anybody who is watching a podcast today and watching it as a complete beginner, and I have not even started my journey, but I dream to achieve this score like you in 6 months. What should be my step by step roadmap, please?
Okay. So first of all, start with a good academy like LFWA who give you structured guideline. Don't roam here and there and don't try different trainers. Don't do that. Just go with one academy, and I would always suggest LFWA to everyone. I always do that. And and always, start with your A1, A2 and have your basics clear. Like when I was in A1, A2, I used to focus on my basics. I used to focus on my grammar and a little bit of listening and reading on the side. But having strong foundation is very, very important, because when you're preparing for TCF, you do not want those basic issues coming up at that point of time. So it's really important to focus on your basics, on your tenses from A1, A2 to B1. Then I would suggest from B1, start writing and always start speaking from the start. From A1, I started speaking from A1. Even if I was speaking one line, I used to speak. And my trainer used to, help me speak. If I was stuck, she used to help me speak. And she used to give me that confidence to speak. And don't wait until the right time to speak. We will sound very bad at the start, but eventually we will, get fluent. And that's the part of the process. Being uncomfortable is part of the process.
I want to add something here, Ravleen. At the end of the podcast, guys, you must watch this podcast, because at the end of the podcast, I will also put down some snippets of Ravleen, little bit of a snippets with Saroj ma'am and also with Dilhara ma'am. She's asking questions, she's trying to speak, and all of those. Please must watch, because you might get some quick, cute and insightful nuggets from those videos too. It'll be small snippets.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ravleen, continue. So we take a note here that we need to start from zero, and we need to start speaking from zero, from day one, from A1 itself, and have a strong base A1 and A2. I can complete my A1 and A2 and B1 up until like 3.5 months.
Yes.
If I follow your timeline and same class structure. Okay.
Yes. 3 to 3.5 months are, very easy if you're putting in the work. If you're skipping it for 1 week and then coming back and doing it for 8 hours, it won't be possible. So putting in consistent effort is very important. And at the end of the day, when you're at B1 level, start writing, start listening, and start preparing according to exam structure. Even though at that point of time, it won't be very great that you'll feel like, okay, I'm ready for the exam. It won't be that way. But starting a bit early would give you a head start into the journey. When you transition to TCF preparation, that is going to be not new, and you're not going to be scared at that point of time, because you'll be doing it for 1 and 2 weeks. And when there's a transition to TCF, it's very important to focus on exam strategies and be organized. So be organized with the themes and try to, cover most of it, have ideas for most of the questions, and also with the recent topics. It's really important to go through the recent questions, because that is going to help you with different themes, and that is going to give you the confidence. And another thing, practicing mock exams. It's very important. I would always suggest somebody who's starting or who's, transitioning to TCF period, please do mock exams. I did mock exams like before my exam for 15 days. I used to sit down. I used to do 1 hour of writing mock exam. I used to give it within 1 hour. So that helped me during my exam a lot. I was able to complete all 3 tasks within, I would say 40 to 45 minutes, and 15 minutes I revised that, because I revised my, writing all of my errors and stuff. Yeah. So that really helped me a lot.
Wow. Amazing. Great strategy. And thank you for sharing this roadmap. So now, Ravleen, we'll play a game wherein this is just simple, that you have done it in 6 months. You have to fix the students who are not able to do it in many months. So I'm giving you their prompts. You have to reply me as a chat GPT now. So let's see what you do. I started French, but I'm not consistent.
I believe that it is very important to be consistent. Even if you're putting 1 hour, just try to put in 1 hour and be structural and be organized with it.
Okay, great. 6 months seems absolutely unrealistic to me.
It could be unrealistic to you, but I did it in 6 months, and you can too if you put in the right effort. And it's not important that you aim for 6 months. You can do it in 8 months, and you will still be a success story. So don't worry about the timeline.
Perfect. I understand everything, but I can't speak.
This happens with everyone. We can understand everything, but it's hard to speak. But it's very important to start, even if you can't speak, you fluctuate or you fumble. It's very important to give it your all. Do it once, do it twice, do it 10 times, and it will eventually stick in.
Amazing. I'm scared to book my exam.
I was too. I was very scared. But if you book your exam, when you feel like you're 50 to 60% ready, book your exam and give your all in for the next 2 months, for 1 month, and it's going to help you a lot because that gives you a head start.
Amazing. I'm studying daily, but I don't see any improvement.
You won't until you get your results. I never saw my results until I never knew I'll do it in 6 months. So you won't.
Yeah.
Don't look for don't
Progress
look for
check.
yes, don't look for progress check. Don't look for how you're doing, but just keep doing it. Look for feedback and improve it, but don't look for approvals that you'll able to be clear. You'll able to clear it.
Yeah,
That
because
will
we
only
cannot
happen.
label the progress. Yeah.
Yes.
I want CLB7, but I don't want to feel overwhelmed.
This is a part of the process, being overwhelmed, but that will also help you grow in your personal life too. It helped me a lot. I know what all can change in 6 months, and it's gonna grow. It's gonna help you grow personally as well. And I believe that being overwhelmed is part of the process. Just talk to your trainers. Just talk it out, and they'll help you.
Amazing. Last question, but not the part of this ChatGPT prompt. I know that you've had to fly from Vancouver to Toronto
Yes,
to
correct.
take the test. I want you to please tell the audience about it. Why did you have to fly? Were you not getting dates? How was your experience? Because it's very, very difficult, not only financially, but finding a logistic there. And if they really have to always fly from Toronto, because many people are watching this podcast today from British Columbia and Alberta and whatnot.
So I had a lot of faith in myself that, okay, I'll do it. But at one point I felt like, no, I took the wrong decision. But I think for me, I took it because there were no dates available in Vancouver. There was nothing available in Edmonton, Calgary. And I also had a talk with you, and we knew that there's no dates available for until April or May. And I felt like if I stretched it, I'm going to be overwhelmed. I'm going to be more stressed, and I won't be able to give it my all. So
Yeah.
I booked my exam in Toronto thinking that I will be able to do it. And for those next 2 months, I gave my all in. I was all in. I was studying for 10 to 14 hours, and I knew that I have to crack it no matter what. So I feel like that was kind of also a motivation for me because I'm going to fly to another city, so it's really important that
another
I do my
province
best.
altogether. And
Yes.
so, did you fly a day before, stayed overnight, taken the exam, and then fly back? This was your itinerary.
So initially, I was reaching there by I was reaching there around 4 p.m. the very previous day of my exam, but my flight delayed and I reached by midnight, 1 to 2 a.m. and I had my exam at 10 a.m., my speaking exam. So that was kind of scary, but that's okay. That's part of the process, so things happen, but it's how you give your output. Although I was tired, but I wanted to get done with it. And I feel like after that, I stayed there for 1 or 2 days because I needed a break. I wanted to, I wanted to give myself some break. I wanted to roam around the city and just not think about studying. So I stayed there for 1 or 2 days and then I came back.
Amazing. And before I let you go today, Ravleen, what one piece of advice you would give to all audience today, whether they are beginner, they are intermediate, they are advanced learner, somebody must have taken multiple attempts, some are taking TEF, TCF, whatever. What would be your piece of advice, whoever is watching this podcast today?
So what helped me the most was not look around what others are doing, not compare myself to others. Don't compare yourself with others, but trust your journey, trust your trainer, and trust what you're doing. You know yourself better. I knew myself better. I knew that organization plays a big role for me. There could be something else for you as well. So try to find that and try to stick with what you're doing, stick with what your trainer is teaching you. Don't question them and don't roam around. Just focus on your work and it will help you achieve those goals. And I know everybody would achieve it someday, like I did. And you guys will also be success story one day.
I am sure, 100%. And thank you so much, Ravleen, for this lovely podcast today. It means a lot, and I'm sure it must have helped tons of people, and it must have given lots and lots of hopes. And we wish you a great success, and we wish you definitely you be a citizen soon, and may have a great life ahead while you're staying in Canada.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oui, madame. Je m'appelle Ravleen et j'ai 22 ans. Je viens d'une petite ville en Inde, connue pour sa culture chaleureuse et son histoire riche. Actuellement, je vis à Vancouver, au Canada, où je travaille depuis 3 ans dans le domaine des ventes au sein d'une entreprise reconnue. En ce qui concerne mes études, j'ai obtenu un diplôme en psychologie et je l'ai choisi car je suis très passionnée par la compréhension du comportement humain et des relations interpersonnelles.
This one, there was like I think on second page that you sent. अभी मिल नहीं रहा है. He just called where he invited. He said, "Let's have dinner." Yeah, this third last. This Tabit.
Ok. Oui, arrête d'être si passif, si négatif. Ce n'est pas une catastrophe. Allez, viens, on va déjeuner ensemble. Et ne dis pas que personne ne t'invite.
And it's l'une de mes amies.
Okay. What did I speak? I don't remember. I think I said de mon ami, something like that.
One of my friends.
Yeah.
So expression is l'une de mes amies.
Okay.
M'a recommandé. Yeah. Et dans Vancouver? how do we say?
Vancouver. Vancouver.
Yes.
Oui.
Correct. And you switched stable vie. It's une vie stable pour moi et ma famille.
Okay.
Okay.
Stable pour moi et ma famille. Okay.
Okay. And one thing I like, when you have a lot of ideas, you use connectors and explain, like pour quelle raison vous avez immigré ici. So to d'abord explain. That is good.
The Wasa is neighbor.
Oui, Waza is neighbor. What is Cartier? Remember you written the essay? Starts with Q.
Cartier. Oh yeah, Cartier. Ma maison.
Did I just say Cartier by mistake while
Yeah,
asking?
you did say. You said Cartier. It starts with Q.
I meant neighborhood. Okay, donc je sors avec mes amis et je découvre de nouveaux cafés. How do you say off the neighborhood then? What preposition will you use here? Ravleen?
De la Cartier. Du
Masculin.
Cartier because it's male. Du Cartier, oui.
Okay, now does the sentence make sense?
Oui.
Aussi, je sors avec tes amis et je découvre de nouveaux cafés. Very nice, you came up with that.